Hello, my name is Robert Larson. I'm an attorney and also the owner of Arsenal Law in Mesa, Arizona. Today, I wanted to take a moment and talk about the way Arizona law deals with childcare expenses in custody cases, and especially how it intermingles with child support. So basically, Arizona follows a model where each parent is responsible for their proportionate share of their combined income when it comes to childcare expenses. Now, I'll explain that a little bit more because some examples can help it make more sense. So let's say you have a mom and a dad, and their combined incomes are such that the dad earns 70% of the combined income and the mother earns 30% of the combined income. Doesn't really matter what the totals are, the percentages are what matter here. So basically, if it's 70 and 30, then that means the dad is going to be responsible for paying 70% of the childcare expenses, and mother has to pay 30% also. So they basically just take your combined income and they figure you're each responsible for your share of income. So anyway, this raises a few questions. First of all, if one person's not working, does that mean the other person is responsible for 100%? Not necessarily, because Arizona courts are capable of attributing income to a parent who is not working or is underemployed or working part-time or whatever. So Arizona courts can attribute income based on what they're capable of earning. So if someone is capable of earning a certain amount but they choose not to, Arizona courts can hold them accountable for that higher amount. At a minimum, if you're physically capable of working and you're choosing not to, that's fine, but they're going to usually at a minimum attribute minimum wage to, which is 14.70 an hour in Arizona right now. So it's not insignificant. So anyway, that's where they start. But then here's how it interacts when it comes to child support. So if you have a situation, like I said, dad's earning 70% of the combined income and the mother's at 30%. But before you consider the cost of childcare, you have a situation where the dad would owe mom $500 per month. So we haven't put any childcare information into the calculation at all, and dad owes mom $500 per month. Now let's also introduce another scenario, not another scenario, but another factor where the childcare expense is $1,000 a month. I'm doing nice round numbers to make the math real easy. So if the mother is already supposed to get $500 a month without considering childcare, and then she's paying $1,000 a month directly to the childcare provider, that means the dad has to pay an extra $700 a month to mother for his share of the childcare, and they're going to do that through child support. So instead of getting $500 per month, she's actually going to receive $1,200. And the reason they do that is because there are ways to enforce child support that aren't available for other types of expenses. So in other words, the courts have a lot more ability to collect and enforce child support orders than they do other types of things. So what they will do is they'll put dad's obligation into the child support calculation. His $700 a month will go to mother as child support, and then he'll end up paying $1,200 per month. So now let's reverse that scenario. Let's say the dad is paying the child care provider directly. So let me let the loud truck go by. So the dad is now the one paying the child care provider directly. He's still obligated to pay $700, but since he's paying $1,000, he's actually overpaying by $300 per month. So in this situation, he would get a credit on child support. So instead of paying $500 a month, it would go down to $200 per month. And so he's still paying the same amount, really. It's just he's paying the child care provider directly. And so he gets a credit on that $300 when it comes to child support. Um, Now, what if each parent is paying the child care provider half? So in other words, each parent is paying the child care provider $500 per month. What happens there? Well, the mother is overpaying by 200 and the father is overpaying by 200. So they're going to add that 200 into the child support, and the dad is going to pay that 200 through child support. So his total child support is going to be $700. So with these examples, I think you can figure out other scenarios as well. So basically what Arizona does is they make each parent responsible for their proportionate share of combined income, and then they give they either add child support or they give credits on child support to deduct the person who's paying based on who's actually paying the child care provider. So anyway, hopefully that explains how child support works in Arizona as it relates to child care expenses. So if you have any questions, let me know. Any comments, I'll be happy to respond. If you found this video helpful, make sure that you like it and follow so that you can get more in the future. And hopefully it was helpful for you.